So basically, we're down to the last inner rib, and then I have the outer rib, the support piece, and then the aft half of that outer rib. And then we let it sit for a week, and then we put some water in it, make sure we don't have any leaks. So we'll see how it goes. Howdy everybody, welcome to video number 10 on the tank series. And we will be finishing the inside ribs, and I'll show you a couple of mistakes that I made in doing it, and a couple of tips that I will share with you as well. I didn't I skipped a whole bunch of mixing up the stuff. You guys know how to do that by now. And I did skip a lot of the redundant stuff. So if you've seen it 7 times before, I've skipped it probably. And so hopefully this video just has the good stuff for you and will actually be beneficial if you are building a plane. If you are building a plane, I would love to hear from you. Thanks to those that have already said some things. I appreciate it. I appreciate the help. Batteries changed. I did do one side and half of the other side. Battery was dead. My hands were all gooped, so you'll get to see me finish it. So that happens a lot with the GoPro. I probably should get like some kind of professional video recording equipment to make these videos halfway decent, but all my money is going to building an airplane, so you get what you get. And sometimes the batteries run out, and while I'm doing something, I don't stop to change the battery. I just finish it up. So that's basically what happened here. But while I am riveting together and making the first mistake, that for some reason this one rivet on this particular tank gave me fits. And you'll see in this video, I drill it out. I think I drill it out 4 different times before I finally figure out how to get it riveted correctly. So it was not fun. But let me share a couple of jokes for you. Oh, there's my wife. So there is my wife. She is helping me with the airplane. She does not do that very often. She is very willing to ride in the plane to go see grandkids when we have grandkids. But she has threatened my life if I do any aerobatics while she is in the plane. So just so you know, if I end up dead, it's probably because I did a loop or a roll with my wife in the plane and then she killed me. So now it's out in the open. So here, I'll give you a joke. So did you hear about the queen who was only 12 inches tall? She was a great ruler. Oh. Okay, one more. Why did the pasta go to the dermatologist? It had a big ziti. That was pretty dumb. Okay. So there I am working on the front. Again, the front is much easier when you lay it down. Here's some advice I would give you for the stands. If you make the height of the stand for the tanks big enough that it goes over the top, then you can put a board on it and kind of lock it in place. I would highly recommend that. Another trick I learned with the other tank that you guys really won't see because I've done one, I don't need to show you 2. Make sure those holders for the tank are drilled in or solid. They don't move. That helps a lot. So I'd highly recommend that. Long story short, don't rush. I did get a little bit better putting the rib in and getting it lined up. And I think it helped to put it in there and Cleco it in. So you could kind of see how it was going to fit and then bend some things if they needed bend, some of those little flanges. So that worked well. But then I think I got fast and trying too hard and messed up the same rivet like 4 different times, and then I started getting frustrated. So calm down, take your time. It'll work out. It's okay. You have 2 hours to work with the stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. I did get it in, and I actually redid the ones I redid. I like them a lot better now, so that's good. I'm not so upset about them. And the last rib looks really nice in there, so I'm going to clean up the tank sealant. I'll do the little chocolate chips on the rivets themselves, and then I'm to the very last one here, and that one doesn't necessarily need to have a whole bunch in the joint. It's the other side, the little radius part that matters the most for that guy. So not so much worried about it anymore, but I'm going to clean this up and then move on. So obviously I'm not going to make you watch me do the tank sealant smeared around, but as a tip, make sure you attach your tank holders to the table or to the surface that you're using so it holds it nice and steady. That is the trick to get the rivets to actually set properly. Let's see, what's the next step? We'll see. Okay, rivet the fill cap, did that. Rivet the tank inboard rib forward, done. The tank inboard ribs, done. The T1003 left tank outboard rib to the tank skin is shown in figure 3. Figure 1 for callouts, keep the 1003 left and right tank J stiffener area clean of sealant for a later installation of the J stiffener. Okay, so where the J stiffener hooks in there, we're going to need to make sure there's room for that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure. So it says begin with the tank's inboard rib forward and progress from inboard to outboard, finishing with the tank outboard rib. After the inboard and outboard ribs have been riveted, form a generous fillet of sealant approximately 3/8 radius at the interior corner of the rib and along the nose area where the flange notches are located. Finishing with tank outboard rib. After the inboard and outboard ribs have been riveted, form a generous fillet. So inboard rib, outboard rib, a generous fillet. But it does say, so there's a note on page 18-04 that says, assembly steps from this point on require that sealant be installed between mating parts. The tank is riveted together just like any other structure with one very important difference. Apply sealant between the parts comprising a seam through which fuel could conceivably leak. This includes every rivet. So here's my question that I don't know the answer to. If I didn't put any sealant on that guy at all, riveted on there, let me show you. So if I just rivet this guy on here without any sealant, but I form a nice angle, like a nice, what do they call it? A fillet. And I put a nice fillet on that guy on the inside, the fuel's not going to get to these rivets. So do we need to have tank sealant in between here? I did use tank sealant here, and when I was doing it I thought, hey, that might be a mistake. See, I did use tank, but I didn't do the cherries on the rivet heads because, let me see, I'll turn this upside down for you. I have a generous 3/8 inch fillet all the way in there, and there's no way for the fuel to even get to those rivets. So I don't know what the answer is. I will probably err on the side of putting tank sealant in between that. But I don't know if that's the right answer. So we'll find out. See ya.